Hey y'all, I am VictorÜ. I help provide insight to empower, and I wanted to talk really briefly about relationships. In the past, I know for sure, because of my stuff with my parents, that whenever I would get in a relationship, I would be one of those types of people who would let my responsibilities, my integrity to myself, go a little bit. I would let it go, and I think a little bit more than that, I wouldn't cultivate my relationships with my friends, with my family. And what I picture right now as I say that is a garden. Imagine you have a garden and you just stop taking care of some of the plants, or you stop weeding, and now some of your plants are dying and there's weeds growing because you get so obsessed with the cultivation of one plant. And then what happens? You end up overwatering it, maybe leaving it in the sun too long, taking improper care of it. And it just reminds me of how in relationships, if we put too much into it, it ends up burning out. I want to say drowning it, but more than that, it ends up burning out, because there's all that love that's meant for a village, your tribe, is now going into one person. And as much of a high as it may provide the relationship in the beginning, I mean, the body just gets used to it. And then, you're past that honeymoon phase, and then people don't know how to stay together because they were relying on that chemical concoction that we call the honeymoon phase to keep us together. And it's just unsustainable. There's this quote that I heard recently. I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember it word for word, but it was about relationships, about how, like modern relationships, all the love that would go into a village is being put into one person. So we're making one person our whole village. And it's one thing for two people to be doing that. That's a really codependent relationship. But when it's only, let's say, one person doing it, well, then that other person who is maybe in a more secure place within themselves, has a more secure attachment style, well, then they're going to lose respect for us. And of course, they're going to end up leaving. And if we have abandonment or neglect wounds, we're just going to, re-wound ourselves or re-traumatize ourselves. And the pain is useful, don't get me wrong, because anytime we feel pain, it's like, hey, this area right here needs attention. This is where the pain site is. So if you feel that intense sensation, that intense discomfort that we call pain, that's something to pay attention to. That pain is trying to get you to notice and become aware of something. That just felt like very pertinent for me to just talk about really quick, for it to come up, for me to do anything, but for it to be out there. We can't make one person our whole village. And it may be, for me especially, it's intensely uncomfortable because of my abandonment wounds to not put all that time and attention into one person, because if the fear is, if I don't, well, then she's going to end up leaving me. And what ends up happening is that I put all that time and attention into the relationship, and she ends up leaving because I'm putting so much time and attention into it, and I'm not tending to my own garden of my responsibilities, my relationships, my duties, all that stuff. So yeah, just something to think about. Love you. Peace.